We good on both sides? All right, cool.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
listen. Another episode, first episode of the year of God Vibes Podcast. And for me, this is a dope interview because what he does is just dope. But and he got promoted and it's a new year. So I gotta pull out the champagne bottle. That's only right. So let's do this.
Man. Wow.
Oh, you know what?
This
Let
is
him
like-
pop it. Let him
this
pop
is,
it.
Oh, man.
No rompa nada. I already got a window broken. My freaking son's hitting the ball in the backyard. Broke a window. I don't need nothing else.
Oh, shit. Are you ready?
Yeah, tíralo. Diablo. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This is how we're starting off the year, bro.
Yeah, it started off positive, man. Like always, I always say that, man. I don't know if you noticed. I mean, I hope I can hang these up here on this side, but it says grind, execution, and hustle, no?
That's right. That's all it is, bro. The key to
Success. Así es.
Oh, wow. We are on the same length, bro.
Ya tú sabes.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, we gotta. Okay. Bro, cheers.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me here.
No, anytime, man. Yo, listen, Bryan. I've since I've been in Tampa, man. I met great people, and he's definitely one of them. The best shit talker I know. But he does it with good intentions, man. That's just how he gets motivated. So that's dope. So with that being said, bro, where did you grow up, man? Tell the people. And to be honest, I don't know that. So I would want to know where you grew up, bro.
You don't know that?
No,
Wow,
fíjate. I know a little bit, but I want to know the brass.
So this is Spanglish, right? Like,
Spanglish, así mismo. Para los puertorriqueños, los dominicanos, todo.
Bueno, so I grew up in Puerto Rico, bro. Born and raised in Puerto Rico. In a small little town. Well, no, it's not small. So I always tell everyone San Juan because, like,
it's general.
It's general and it's easy to just say, hey, I'm from San Juan. But I'm from Santurce more specifically. And a spot called Barrio Obrero.
Okay.
So, Barrio Obrero is kind of like a small little pocket where there's a lot of Dominican immigrants. So my mom is Dominican.
So let me jump. That's why I knew that.
Yeah.
But you told me you're Dominican too. So that's where. But you grew up most of the time in Puerto Rico.
Yes. So I grew up pretty much in PR. I remember growing up, I spent a lot of summers in Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
So I will go back and forth.
That's why I got confused. Okay, cool.
You know, especially with my cousins, I will go and spend some time in the summer. But yeah, man, I grew up in Barrio Obrero, and if you know where Barrio Obrero is, you know it's a little rough.
Okay.
But it made me who I am.
So. The household, did you have you have mom and dad? How many siblings did you have? Like, how was your upbringing?
Bro. I'm an only child.
No,
Yeah, man,
I didn't know
I'm an
that.
only child, bro.
Mira eso.
So, all right, let's go back. So Barrio Obrero, it's very humble town. Very everyone knows each other. My household was obviously I lived with my mom, my aunt, and my uncle. So it was us four. In a small apartment, you know, but it was funny because across the street, I also had my aunt and my other cousins that lived with me. So like we had I always had and then my best friend lived down the street in the same street.
So everybody was always there.
So it was all like, all connected. But I grew up in my mom's a single mom. You know, like a lot of people in the same spot, like hustling, working. Ever since I grew up, man, I always saw her as a business owner. She's always a business owner. Her own businesses. In Dominican Republic, growing up when I was little, she had a little mini mart.
Wow.
So we will go, and I would spend some summers. You know, we'll go, and she'll check on the business. She'll work it for a little bit, go back, and then from there, she opened up a beauty salon. In Puerto Rico.
Wow.
Right there in Barrio Obrero. And, so she ran that, and then she put a little pincho spot right outside of the beauty supply.
Okay.
So she I remember helping her prep all the meats before. She would do it only on Saturday.
Damn, that's so dope,
so
though.
I would just kind of help her out, and then she would take me to work on Saturdays, even as a little kid.
Wow.
You know, if I wasn't playing baseball, I was helping my mom work.
So where was the dad at that point?
Honestly, my dad was just kind of hanging around in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will run into him here and there once in a while.
And I say that because I didn't have a dad growing up.
Yeah.
And I'm 36. I'm old, right? So I don't blame him. You know, when you have a dad,
Correct.
and I'm a dad, so I know it's not easy. So and it's easier to apologize and to move on than to stay with a grudge. So I apologize to my dad. That's why I asked you that. Like, you know, where was your dad? And is there apology? Like, do you still think about that? Are you like, no, you know?
I don't know how to answer that because my dad passed away.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And I don't think I ever had to have that conversation with him. I don't think I had that opportunity, which to this day kind of bothers me a little bit.
Okay.
But I think for the most part, he just kind of wanted to stay out of the way because my mom was doing such a good job with me.
Wow.
And I think he just kind of knew that, let me just kind of like
fall back. If I'm not gonna do a good job, I'm not gonna do something at all.
He was into his own thing. You know, my dad drank a lot, bet a lot on horses. It's one of the reasons why I have a horse tattoo here.
Oh, okay.
So, but I will see him. No, one thing my mom never did was talk bad about my dad. Same. Even growing up, single mom, he didn't really help anything, but she never really said anything negative about my dad.
So let's give a shout out to your mom, though, man. She's a goat. Sure. Like, you know, my mom passed recently, and she was a single mom, just like you. And I gotta give them props, man. When you don't have that father figure, and your mom has to be that father figure and mom at the same time, give them their props, bro. Like, that's hard. You know, there's nothing easy about that. So with her being an entrepreneur and doing what she was doing, and you were seeing everything, what did you want to be when you were younger? I like asking that because where you at now, it maybe have different or whatever.
Man, everyone laughs when I say this because I always joke around, but I think people don't realize that I'm actually being serious about this, bro. So the thing is, let's backtrack a little bit because so where I grew up, the main, like I said, it was rough. It is rough
still to this day.
You know, I don't. But I don't care. I still go. You know, my family still lives in that area, and I don't feel like an outsider. You know, I grew up in those streets, but growing up, so my uncle had another business down the street. My aunt had. So I come from a family full of entrepreneurs.
That's dope.
So to this day, you know, people ask me, "What do you want to grow up?" You know, and I didn't want to grow up and had a beauty salon. I didn't want to grow up and have a thing. I actually wanted to grow up. And honestly, if I'm being real, and this is a podcast, I want to be a drug dealer, to be honest. You know why? Because
Los bichotes.
bro. Those were the people that you saw as a kid that had the nice cars, had the money, had the girls, had the nice jewelry on, you know, like. So to me, I was like, I would look at that, I was like, oh man, I want to do that. Like, I don't want to be in a beauty salon, like grinding here. Like, look at those guys. They got money. The music is blasting as they drive by, and
they don't care nothing.
So, like, to me, I thought that was like, wow, like, you know, I used to see it more like you see sales, you know, like, they're just selling a product. But obviously, the older you get and the more you realize that there's only two ways in that avenue, right?
Two ways.
Jail or you're going to end up dead. Fortunately, I have friends that should be my age that are not around anymore.
Yeah.
Getting to that line of work and
either in jail or done.
That's it, man. So that's really what so to answer your question, seeing as a little kid, I want to do that. But to me, it was mostly the things, the achievement of like success. What at that time, what it looked like, right? But my main goal was wanted to be a baseball player. You know, I wanted to.
Todo mundo en la isla tiene eso.
Like, it's either that because, but I play all of my, like literally from the time I can remember. Just sing around in the house and just watch TV.
Be lazy.
So she would always just like, yo, let's go to practice. My mom's a single mom, so I used to take a bus by myself as a little kid. We used to know the bus driver, so she would put me in there. She would pay the guy, say, hey, make sure he gets to the last stop I would get off in the last stop and I would walk to practice.
That's cool.
And
so
then I will come back, you know, and do the same thing.
same
on the way
routine.
back. And I would just kind of hold my bat. Like, bro, think about it. I'm like a 10-year-old and I'm holding my bat thinking that, like, if someone comes, I'm just going to beat them up with the bat. Like, you know what I mean?
Nah, yeah.
So, like, but yeah, man, that's kind of what I wanted. But I wanted to be, I really thought I was going to play professional ball. I really
So what brought you to Tampa then?
Oh,
You
man.
were all the way in Tampa. No estamos en Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico hay calor. Aquí
Sí,
hace
no,
un
no.
poquito de frío.
Wow.
So what got you here in Tampa?
Honestly, my mom, obviously, you know, when we moved here, I was 13 or 14, around that age. I didn't want to come, obviously.
You're already used to the island.
You know,
You
I had
got
my
friends,
school,
baseball, everything.
baseball. But we moved because my mom, all she kept saying is like, this is not a good place for you to grow up. I didn't understand that.
She had your
You know,
best
she-
interest without you
And
knowing.
think about this, bro. My mom was a business owner, honestly, making good money. For we were there because her family was there, but in reality, she really wanted to. She could probably get a nicer place. I went to private school my whole life, even though I lived in the hood.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Again, shout out to her. I mean,
Yeah,
damn,
bro.
a lot
so,
of people
like,
can't afford
and
things
I
like
used
that.
to, yeah, but I used to do that, and I used to get bullied and stuff and shit in the hood because like, oh, you live here, but you go to like a little Catholic school, you got your uniform and stuff. So like, it was not a good area to grow up. I mean, I just told you I have friends that should be my age that
Yeah.
are not around because the environment that you grow up in. You know, you grow up in an environment that you walk down the street, you see people shooting up.
Yeah,
You see
man.
people. Bro, I thought every night I used to hear gunshots from the caserio. So if you don't know what caserio is in Puerto Rico, I live close to one. So what that is essentially is like a Section 8, kind of like apartments, projects, you know. But the projects, I feel like the projects here and the projects in PR is kind of like a little whole different.
A
ballgame.
lot of
You know
different.
what I mean? But I remember, I thought they would shoot like just fireworks like, every
Petardos.
night, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I used to ask, oh, fireworks, and I don't see them, and she's like, oh yeah, they're shooting like fireworks, but it was just.
No, it's funny. I got a funny story. When I first went to Christmas to see my dad and stuff like that, fui para Puerto Rico. Y eso me pasó. I went outside because it was New Year, Happy New Year, and I'm hearing the fireworks. And bute, so fue, that was gunshots. My dad was like, no, come inside. Because
Yeah,
what happens is
Go up, go down.
Y bajan. And the next
Everybody
day,
knows, bro. That's a rule
Yeah,
in
in
PR,
Puerto
bro.
Rico,
Like,
so-
especially if you live in the hood, you know that the 31st, there's certain holidays.
I did not know that.
Where, yeah, bro. There's certain holidays that you know if you live in the hood. I don't know if it's as bad now. I think it might. I don't
Es lo
know.
mismo.
But
Es lo mismo.
you knew that on the 31st you wanted to be inside somewhere. You don't want to be out on the street because, bro, I remember waking up certain.
know
I
that.
swear to God, bro. I swear to God, there were certain years that I wake up on New Year's and I would see shell stuff, bullet casings on my.
I seen
on my
them
patio,
the
bro, on
next day.
street, bro. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this going on? What's going
So
on?
all of that, and
Yeah.
that's where she transitioned you to Tampa.
Yeah, Dad. Obviously, I was always a good student. I never had any issues with school, man. I liked school. I always liked school. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I loved school, had good grades. It was a competition for me. I was always find who was the best person, had the best grade. I wanted to be that person,
Well,
and
that's
get
cool.
the best grade. You know what I mean? But it was always everything with me in my life. Always
Competition?
been a competition.
That's good.
It's
bro.
what drives me. So my mom's also very competitive. So I think she just saw kind of like the way the economy was going. She's always been very smart, very calculated. So when she see that, she's like, you know what? Let's kind of go. She wanted me to get a education and a college here.
Oh, okay.
That was really one of the main things, and she wanted me to learn English. I wasn't learning any English back home.
Yeah.
Even though I was going to private school and we had English class, it's kind of like how people treat
Spanish and-
here, bro.
yeah.
It's kind of like joke. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're learning, but bro, I didn't know a word when I moved here, bro. I
So
was
it-
like, I knew how to say, how are you? You know why? So I had my best friend before I left. He's like, bro, think of the car, the Jaguar, bro. Like the Jaguar, you know, Jaguar. You know? I swear. And you just add you. Now you say how to say how are you.
That's crazy
And
story.
I used to think, bro, I was like, oh, shit, okay, that's easy. So I used to that's the only thing I knew how to say when I moved here. I was like, how are you? I'm like, and people are like, good. I'm like, oh, shit, it works.
And you going straight to high school, no? Or middle school? 13, 14?
No, I was in the second semester of 8th grade.
So that's middle school?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle school. Wow. That's it. And then the people down here, I already know, when you transition to school, it could be state to state or country. They're going to treat you different.
I didn't move to Tampa first.
Where you
moved to Orlando first.
Oh.
I moved to
Do people know that? Do people know that?
No, not really.
Oh,
not a lot of people know that, bro. So I moved to Kissimmee for about 6 months. We moved with like family, friends. I didn't know these people. I didn't even know who they were. Somehow, some way, we knew some people. They took us in. And I hated it, bro. I hated everything about Kissimmee. The school.
Back
it was
then,
just a big adjustment, bro. Like,
back then, it wasn't Puerto Rico como está ahora. Porque si tú vas para Kissimmee ahora, listen, don't go to Kissimmee and then get Brian. Brian, you hate this little. No, ahora los puertorriqueños están por donde quiera, yeah. But back then, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that. When I actually moved to Kissimmee, most of my ESO classmates were from Central America. Salvador, Honduras, a lot of people from Central America. There was not a lot of Puerto Ricans. But, so what did I do? So, like, I moved here, and I went to Kissimmee. I hated it.
Okay.
So, my first, the whole thing that I'm thinking, bro, I'm a teenager.
Yeah.
Think about this, right? I'm a teenager. I'm going through a lot of stuff, internally, hormones.
Course, yeah.
Now you get this huge move, leaving my family.
No friends, no nothing?
No, I don't know any English. No friends. And the friends thing, never bothered me because I've been blessed. I can make friends wherever I go. I don't have a problem.
I don't know how, bro.
Relationships, bro. Like,
I'm gonna show y'all his text messages. This guy is brutal.
But nah, bro. Like so I don't think it was mostly just the culture, the
culture shock.
Yeah,
culture shock.
Culture shock, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time I started getting bad grades because I didn't know the language. So like I would take these tests on in English, and I'm just guessing, bro. I'm guessing. I don't know a word that's.
Did that motivate you more? Because you're a competitor.
I was pissed. I was pissed.
It got
me down, bro. I went home and I was crying. I was like, I'm like the first couple weeks, first month of school. I went home and I was like, I want to leave. Like, this just sucks. So what I did, I was like, how can I get in enough trouble that my mom says, fuck it, let's go back to PR. So I started getting into fights. So anything, bro, anything. And my first 6 months, the first couple months in that school, I got into like 2-3 fights, just for wanting to get in trouble.
Just cause.
So like anybody that would look at me wrong, boom, punched. Like if I didn't understand something that you were telling me, even if it was a joke, let's say you were joking with me, but I thought you were like making fun of me somehow, boom, done.
Wow.
So that happened. So I started getting a lot of trouble. But my mom told me, like, we're not leaving anywhere. So you better figure out your stuff. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I remember one day I'm coming back from school. And at that time, I had a bike. So I would ride my bike to school, which is a whole different ballgame. In Puerto Rico, I never did that. Like, I just kind of walked to school. So she get me this bike, bro, and I love it. I go to school, come home from school, but then I'm coming back one afternoon. I stayed for a tryout for basketball. I wanted to play basketball. They didn't have a baseball team in the school, so they just had basketball. I'm like, I think I'm good. Fuck it. Like, let's try it out. It went horrible because I didn't understand what the coaches were asking them to do in the drills.
Baseline, 3-man.
Baseline. So, like, I remember they do a thing, and they say, well, we're going to go to the left side. I thought that meant shoot with your left hand somehow. I'm righty. So I'm like out there looking stupid, shooting with my left and stuff. And I'm like, so obviously I didn't make the team or anything. And I'm driving back with my bike after, and I get stopped by this group of kids. And they're like, yo, we want that bike. I'm like, yeah, right. You're going to have to beat me up to get my bike. I'm not just going to hand it to you. Sure enough, I got in a fight, like one on like 5. They took my bike. I walk back home. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm done. Like, my bike is gone.
Feel defeated. My
freaking grades are down the drain. I can't make the basketball team. Like, it was just terrible. So, yeah, Kissimmee was not going good. It was not going good. So she's like, all right, let's go to Tampa. I'm like, oh.
With no family? Like, so in Kissimmee, you ain't have no family. She did it herself.
But we had a cousin here.
In Tampa or in Kissimmee?
In Tampa.
Okay.
So she decided, okay, well, let's go to Tampa and see if things are different. So, yeah, man. So we moved and I enrolled here. And then here, when I moved to Tampa, there was like barely any Hispanics at that time.
Sure.
Crazy, bro. Like now I see the how it's changed, the landscape. But
Demographic
back
and everything?
then, bro, like I was like, it was barely any. Like I went to Ben Hill Middle School, like the second part of it.
Okay.
That's how I met Mauricio.
Shout out Mauricio.
Yeah, shout out Mauricio. I actually didn't like Mauro the first time that I met him.
You punched him?
Nah, bro. But like, I didn't really like him. He knows that we always laugh about this story. Because when I got to 8th grade, he knows, bro. He knows. He's probably watching somewhere.
Yeah, he's gonna
He
be
knows,
watching
bro.
this.
He knows. He was a very, very popular kid. Colombian, had a bunch of little girlfriends around, and I'm like, man, this kid is like, he always had like nice stuff. I'm like, look at this little fucker, bro. Like, I just didn't, whatever.
Didn't vibe at the moment.
At the moment, fuck that kid, bro. So, but I think it was the best thing. I remember I went to ESOL class, and my teacher took me out of ESOL class the first week. I was like, what the I don't know any English. Why are you taking me off? And it was this Puerto Rican teacher at that time. I never forgot her. And then my mom went to the school and speaks to her, and she's like, no, I'm taking him out because he knows the language. He's just scared. He needs to just go and take a regular class. I'm like, damn, I guess so. Whatever. So, and then I went to English class. And I had this lady, man. I remember her name forever. Her name was Miss Brown. And we had to do a presentation, like a project that we had to present in front of the whole class. And I did my report and everything. And she's like, Bryan, you're going to go first. What? I'm like freaking out, bro. I'm sweating. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're going to go first. I'm like, oh my God. So I went up there, and I don't even know what I said. I was probably, my accent was going out of, like my heart was beating, forgetting words. I'm like just a mess. Nervous, bro. But that was the best thing for me.
She just threw you to the wolves, and it was like, boom.
Bro, and I sat down, and I was like, wow, like that wasn't too bad. That wasn't that bad. And like from there, everything clicked, bro.
But all right, so let's get to that school thing. So what you wanted to be when you got to school then? Because you wanted to be a baseball player in Puerto Rico. So in school, did it motivate you to do what you're doing now? Because what you're doing now, we're going to talk about that in a second.
No.
But what did you... So when you got to school, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to hit that.
At that time, everything was still sports.
Oh, sports? Okay.
Everything was still sports. But I knew I wanted to work. But the thing is, here in the U.S., you have to wait till you're at least 14.
Yeah,
so I did my
14,
research.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a bagger. Because I was a bagger back in PR before I was even 14, bro.
Bagger in the supermarket?
In Econo, in my fucking hood.
Okay,
I was bagging, and there was another little store that I used to go bag. And you know why I did that? This is a funny story. This is funny. So my mom used to take me to the beauty salon. And I used to have to put prices, with the old machines where you have to like do pow, 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 this whole thing, you know what I mean?
Bro.
You're like that.
And
bro.
some of them
bro.
stick. And
Do it again. Yeah. So I used to do that. And I used to do the stocking and the Saturdays. Shoot. So I asked her, like, you got to pay me. Bro, think about this. Like a 10, 11-year-old asking your parent to pay you because, I'm helping. Like, where's my money? And she's like, no, I'm not paying you. What do you think you are? Like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go work. I'm going to go work somewhere else that pays me. And she's like, go ahead. Where are you going to go? I'm like, I'm going to go bag at the store. And I can get tips. She's like,
yeah, because back then, I don't know if they still do it now. You have tú puedes poner un vasito ahí.
So, yeah, in PR, they don't hire baggers. It's essentially, it's not that they hire you, but... it's kind of first come, first serve, at least at that time. Maybe it's different now because at that time it's kind of weird. But it was just mostly, I had a little wood thing. Someone made me, my uncle made me a little like thing so people could put the tips.
Nice, okay.
And I was like 10, 11 years old, bro. And I would show up in the mornings. If I didn't have baseball, I was bagging. So, because I wanted money. Again, I've always been very motivated. I'm like, I need to get my own stuff, however it is. If my mom's not going to pay me, I mean, Mom, I love you. You got a beauty salon, but I'm putting in work. Then I used to remember I used to run the cashiering for her and everything. I'm like, yo.
Not knowing at the moment, your mom's doing it for a reason. She's
Yeah.
putting, you got a roof over your head, you eating, da, 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 da. So she's doing it for a reason. But as young kids, we don't know that.
Yeah, no, that's something. He's like, nah, you gotta like, yo, like I'm putting in the time. Give me my money. She's like, nah, like you need to. No, I'm not. Like this is our tool. You gotta put in the work. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this for free. Even you know, what I mean? So I went, bro, and so everything. So for you guys to kind of understand. So like where I live is one strip. It's called Avenida Borinquen, right? So everything is connected. It's just full of businesses, bars, you know, supermarkets, but it's one street all along. So like I used to walk up and down that street. That's how I learned how to ride a bike in that street, you know, just up and down that street and everybody knows each other, right? So like I could walk 2-3 blocks, no problem by myself. And people knew who I was, who my mom was, who my uncle is. So they never messed with me or nothing. And as a kid in Puerto Rico, they don't really mess with kids like that. So they let you be.
Yeah.
So I remember I went to the first store. I'm like, hey, I want a bag. Bro, the first day, people are giving me $5 tips. You know,
Baller.
$5 tips. Bro, at that time, you know, even $1 for me as a kid, bro, I'm like, what? So I came home and I not even come home, bro. My mom came to the store to pull me out by my ears because I didn't want to eat. I didn't even want to eat lunch. I just wanted to stay and keep working and making money. So like, yeah, so they would keep giving me money, I'm like, all right, I'm working, I'm doing it. So I went to the supermarket, same deal. People giving me big tips because, bro, you're a little kid, so they're like,
you know, you're free. Yeah.
I can't leave. Yeah, I'm like, boom. So, but I wasn't stupid, bro. I started saving all of my money. And I had in this little box. So my mom was like, okay, you're going to make money. Where are you going to save it? So I had this box, and everything that I made, I just put it in that box.
11 years old, 12, you said?
I was probably younger than that, bro. Honestly. I don't even remember, bro. But I remember. So when I moved here, I went to an interview at Publix right when I turned 14, bro. And the moment I turned 14, I applied to work. And I was in 9th grade. I was a freshman. My mom took me to the interview. I'm like, I was nervous. I never had an interview because, like I said, in PR, like
you just go.
You just walk in. You know what I mean? You know the manager knows his mom, and it's like, oh, yeah, have him come in and spend a couple hours. We'll take care of him. So I remember, and again, I forget this person. Her name was Linda Dees, this heavy set lady, American lady, and I barely speak any English, bro. And she's like, oh, well, tell me. I made a resume. My first ever resume. I had no idea what I was doing. And in there, I put bagger, like 5 years experience. Mind you, I'm 14.
Yeah.
So like, she's like, you put in your resume that you have 5 years experience bagging. How is that possible? And I'm like, I've been working since I was like 9 years old. She's like, no, you haven't. Like, you can't possibly work. How do you bag?
Legally in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, bro. So after that, she didn't even believe me. So I went and got my mom. I was like, no, wait a second. And I brought my mom in, bro, in the interview. It's like, can you tell her that I have 5 years experience bagging? Just let her know. My mom in her bad English is like, yes, he's been bagging. He knows what he's doing. Like, he's worked in supermarkets before. So I got my first job at Publix at 14.
And that still didn't so I'm trying to find your because this is the thing, is dope. You sound like an entrepreneur. Like right now, the whole thing and what he does is dope. I want to get to it. We're gonna get to it, but I wanna what he's doing is dope because so he has a mom that's an entrepreneur, family oriented is all entrepreneurs, and so at what point got you where you at now? Like where you're like, you know what?
Man. This is
my motivation. This is where I'm going. And he's going in hard. Like, damn, he's going in hard. So what point that got you like?
The thing is, I never, what I'm doing now, it was never a thing that I thought I was going to do.
That's crazy.
So it just kind of evolved into what I'm doing now, but it wasn't like a dream of mine. Like I didn't even know that what I do now. I didn't even know it was even a real job.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So after Publix, I did that all through high school. I was an awful worker because I hate to be told what to do. I couldn't believe that.
Oh, over
Seeing
here.
seeing my mom be a housekeeper
Just to
after
make
being
money.
like just to like get by, you know. So anyways, to get to your point, so I do that all through high school. I still play sports all through high school. But the same year, so my goal was to play
Did you
something
play? Oh,
in college.
hold on. Did you play high school baseball and stuff like that? Did you get on the team varsity, etc.? Let's
Yeah,
get.
so I did a little bit of that,
Okay.
but what happened was, I had to work because so I tried out for football. I did a little bit of football, did a little bit of I tried out for basketball again. My freshman year, I didn't make the team or anything because again I messed up on the trial. Again, just a language barrier thing. So like it was a lot of that. But baseball helped me. You know, I still play a little bit of baseball. I played in AAU. So that's really how I started to
Play with
learn
Mauricio,
English.
right?
No, I didn't play with Mauricio.
Yeah, was it different?
He was in a different, and
Okay.
Mauricio played for basketball for the school.
Okay.
So, but we had a lot of mutual friends, and obviously we're best friends now. But at that time, so what happened was working. I graduated high school in 2010. So my goal was, okay, I'm going to, let's see where sports can take me. If I can maybe even play college, who knows?
Okay.
Whatever. But 2010 was, we had that recession back then. We had a big economic downfall. There's a lot of layoffs. My mom got laid off literally the month of my high school graduation.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, who's going to pay the rent? So I'm like, you know, my mom's like, no, you go to school. And my mom's like searching for a job like crazy, couldn't find anything. So I'm like, it's all right. I just graduated high school. Let me get a job, you know? So I signed up to go to HEC. I originally was going to go to FSU with my boy Juan. I was going to move to Tallahassee right out of high school. And my mom backed me. She's like, no, like just stay here until you're at least 21 and then you can move out, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make you a promise. I'm staying here until 21 and that's it. And I'm out. All right. So that was the turning point for my career because at that point I had to work. It was all work. So I left everything sport related in the back and I just kind of focused on work, got a job at the bank. So,
Okay.
bro, even before that, I just don't want to go through all the jobs that I've had, but my first job was after the Publix was Best Buy Mobile,
Okay.
selling phones. And I quit that job like quick as hell, like 3 or 4 months into because they asked me to go outside and flip a thing. Like flip the signs to get people to come in. I'm
Oh, my God.
you gotta be crazy. You think I was like, bro, I remember there were all the numbers on a thing. And I'm like, you see where my name is? I was like, I told my manager, I was like, that's one thing about where I'm at. I've never been afraid to speak my mind.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, it can be the president of the United States. It can be my boss. It can be the Pope. I don't care. Like, I'll tell you how I feel. So he asked me, yo, could you go outside and flip the sign? We need more traffic. I'm like, do you see where my name is? I'm like number. Like that. And I looked at him. I was like, I'm done. He's like, what do you mean you're done? I'm like, no, I'm not flipping the sign, bro. Like, I'm in here. I came in here to make money.
Yeah.
And like do my sales, bro. Me going outside for like a couple hours, I'm losing all the traffic that comes in. I can't sell a phone. I can't sell nothing. So like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I left, bro. So I left like that, quick. Got home. My mom's like, what are you doing? Why are you here? She knew I was working. I quit. She's like, what? Why you quit? It was a good job. I'm like, nah. They asked me to flip a sign. I said, no, not doing it. Cool. What are you going to do now? I was like, Mom, I get another job. So I got a job at the airport. I had to do it, and it was awful. I mean, I met some great people there, but it was a grind, bro.
Yeah.
So I got a job at the airport, just cleaning, making sandwiches, pizza, and food service, pretty much.
Okay. I'll see you.
And
Okay.
yeah, bro. So I was everything food service. I did that for about a year. So I was like probably like 19, from like 18 to 19, probably even less than a year. But I never saw that job as a bad job. Like, it was just a job. Like,
Yeah.
I never really thought like, oh my God, I'm like cleaning tables, and I'm mopping, and I'm sweeping, and I'm making food. And I remember I was making like 720, 750 at that time.
Yeah, I remember
the thing, you
those.
know what I mean? And what the crazy thing is, I had to wake up that was when I was right out of high school. I was in my party mode, bro. It's like partying, going out.
18, 19, 20.
18, 19, bro. I was going out. I remember my shift at the airport, I had to be there by 4 a.m. every day, by every weekend, by 4 a.m. because I had to make all the food before the first plane will come. And I would show up there.
Sure.
Dude, I would show up there probably half drunk.
But what did you learn in every job that you have, though?
Oh,
Now that
everything
you
you
say that
learn,
you have a
man.
lot of jobs, I'm thinking, because I always learn, I learn mad things from different
Everyone,
jobs.
bro.
So what did you learn from all of them?
I honestly learned work ethic, bro. Like, I never missed a shift, no matter how bad it was, how bad I felt, nothing. I always showed up. And I always wanted to grow.
In every
Job. I never saw myself as just
staying stuck in one plateau.
No, I just saw it as a step to a step. But every single job, you learn something. It takes something. And if you're not something, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So, I learned a lot how to teamwork. I learned a lot how to
Customer service, everything.
Customer service, sales, food. The food industry.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about that stuff. And so I got that job at the airport, and that led me to really the next phase of my career was at the bank, Wells Fargo.
How
So
long?
I was at Wells Fargo for a long time, probably 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
So I decided to apply to Wells Fargo. Actually, me and Mauricio applied together. We
cool.
went to the interview together. Crazy, because it was a group interview.
Oh, shoot.
So they both at the same time, and we're looking at each other. What do you mean? Like, what's going
That's
on?
crazy.
And it was a group interview. We went in. We sat down in this room, and it was just like a big room, and like the interview was just like tell me about yourself, and each person will go, and you tell about yourself.
I never did that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a group interview. So I was like, we both got the job. He worked at a different branch. I work in one branch. And I stayed at Wells Fargo for a long time. So I did everything there. I started as a part-time teller. Then I went to full-time. Then I did a little bit of just leadership role, supervisor role. But it was a tough job.
But you learned a lot there. 3-4
Love
years.
it.
You learned a lot.
I learned a lot, man. I learned how dirty the corporate world can be. Because at that time, that was right before Wells Fargo got caught in the whole like scheming thing.
Yeah, I remember
Where
that.
They had like
Now that you
crazy
talk about
sales and stuff. I was in the middle of that. So from there, I had some great managers, but I was still very mature, very outspoken. If I didn't like something, I would say it. That's not how corporate world works.
No.
So any little thing, like managers will like, hey, we need you to have this many sales. I'm like, I don't feel like it. What do you mean? I'll turn it on and off whenever I want.
And what it was that for me is the entrepreneur side on you, because your mom was her own boss and stuff. So I now when you sending me the story,
It's hard.
I'm seeing it now. Now it's wow. So with all those jobs, what you doing now, and are you proud and you excited to do what you're doing now?
I love what I do, man. But so I did Wells Fargo for a little bit. Then I went to SunTrust.
Another bank.
Yeah, another bank. I left Wells Fargo because I was actually gonna get fired. So a lot of people don't know that, but there was this whole thing going on, and this is a crazy story. So at that time,
Don't go too crazy.
we had this management, we had this manager, and like there was a lot of things going on at the branch, and I pretty much riled up the people, wrote a letter to like
Corporate or whatever.
corporate and like DMs and stuff, and I did some things that like really were pushing it. They were pushing the envelope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I remember I had this manager. His name was Tony, and we bonded through sports. So at that time, he came to the branch as an interim manager. I'm like, Tony. And then she tells me, oh, the district manager is coming by today.
Ooh.
I had this feeling, bro. I was like, Tony, is she coming in to fire me? And he looks at me. He's like, yeah. So I have seen what they do. They let you work all day.
And then boom.
And then at the end of the day,
They
they call you into the office. They'll say, thanks for your day. Boom, out. I'm like, that ain't going to be me. So I waited for the biggest rush hour of the day. It's beginning of the month. Crazy at the bank. It was like probably like around 11:45. Everyone comes for lunch at that time. And at the time, a lot of people will go to the bank. It was a lot of traffic. So I'm like, perfect timing. It's the line out the door. I'm like, put my thing off. Like, oh, my window's closed. Everyone on the team is like looking at me. It's like, bro, why are you not taking anybody? Like, why are you? You're like, I'm counting my money, balancing my drawers out, doing everything in the computer, lock everything up. And everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what is going on? What is Bryan doing? Bro, I literally grabbed my keys. I'm walking away, and there's the manager's office. And the door's wide open. So at that time, my manager, his name is Tony, sitting, and he's a client in front of him. I grabbed my keys, and I threw my keys to his office. And I'm like, I'm out, bro. Peace. Walked out, drove away, went home. At that time, I was dating my wife, and I called her. And the reason I want to mention SunTrust is because it leads directly into what I'm doing now.
Okay, cool.
So SunTrust was a big step in my life because that was the first time that I actually felt supported by a company or a job. So I went to this job, fresh slate, I'm going with a new mindset. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to let what happened in Wells Fargo hold me back. And I got this manager. Her name was Jenny. She was awesome. She like pushed me, like would tell me, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, you got to level up. You know what I mean? Cool. Mind you, at that time, the whole time I'm at Wells Fargo and I'm at SunTrust, I'm a full-time student at USF.
Oh, okay.
So
was it a part-time job or a
full-time job, bro? I'm grinding, bro. I don't have like barely any time like to do anything. So like the whole time I've been working, I also was a full-time student. So I'm trying to balance out school. So like I had this little deal with SunTrust in Wells Fargo. So when I moved, I'm like, hey, so bro, for 5 years, I worked every single Saturday of my life. Every single one. Because I needed a day off during the week to be able to go to school. That's the only way that I could do that and have a full-time job. So when I went to SunTrust, I remember I did everything the right way. I got a couple promotions there. But there was still something there, man. There was something there that just did not feel like this was me.
You didn't feel complete.
It didn't feel like, it honestly didn't feel like I was helping people. And that's what I love to do. I love to help people. So I remember when I graduated USF in 2016.
Were you AA?
With my bachelor's degree.
Were you a bachelor's in what?
Health science management.
Cool.
So finished school. And I walked into my manager's office, and I'm like, hey, I'm done. Like, once I graduate, I'm done with SunTrust. Like, I'm leaving. And she's like, why? Like, what's going on? I'm like, no, I just don't feel like this is it for me, So about a week later, I get a call from the district manager. Say, hey, we spoke with your manager. You said that you're leaving. Is there anything that we could do to keep you around? I'm like, honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be doing this, you know? So they offered me this job as a mortgage rep. So they're like, hey, we want to take you off. We want you to try this new program. And this is where everything shifted. So I went and I remember, shout out to this guy. I haven't spoken with him in a while, but his name was Patrick Turner. He was the head of mortgage at SunTrust at that time. And I remember this kind of shaped a lot of stuff because I prepped for this interview for this position in the mortgage department. I'm thinking like, oh, this is going to be a huge deal. He only asked me one question.
Oh, what was it?
So, bro, it was the craziest thing. So he's like, what motivates you to get out of bed every day? That was the only question he asked me. That was the interview. And I'm like, I'm shook because I'm expecting like a formal interview.
Yeah.
I prepped for a formal interview. So I was like, honestly, just my family, making my mom proud and doing everything that I can to be the best version of myself. Like, it's really it. Like, mainly my family and my mom. That's my main motivation. He's like, okay. We hung up. But a day later, got a job offer. And they sent me to Richmond for like 4 months to go train.
Oh, that's cool.
And this program is one of the best programs that happened to me
in your life.
In my life, because it was such an in-depth program. And there's a lot of people that I went to this program with, which are awesome. They're doing amazing things. I'm still staying in touch with some of them. And they all know it was a grind. We were in the office Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 in this classroom setting, studying like a book like this thick. Everything mortgage related. But with that came different kind of trainings, public speaking training, etiquette training, executive presence trainings, all these kind of trainings that are way different than any training that I had ever received.
They got you well-rounded.
Correct. Because what do you do in mortgage? You build relationships.
Yeah.
You meet realtors. You meet other lenders. You have to go to a lot of networking events. So you have to look the part. You have to act the part. You have to speak the part. You know what I mean? So they took the time, and this training was amazing. I spent 3 months there, came back. I did it for a year. It was very successful. First year in mortgage business, I probably closed close to $2 million in loans.
Shoot.
Yeah, man. And at that
That's
time,
dope,
like,
man.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was the most stressful job I've ever had because I felt such a, what's the word that I'm looking for? I didn't want to let people down. Like, this is a big event in people's life.
Yeah.
So like buying a home is a lot of people's dream. So every time that we couldn't do something or like a loan fell through because certain things, like, that will affect me really bad.
Hit you different.
Like, there was times, my wife knows, I couldn't sleep at nighttime certain days, bro, because like I'm like, oh man, I don't even know how I'm gonna work this loan to make this family like get in.
Damn.
Or like, we had people that will, dude, I had this guy that had his family, his wife was pregnant and like was coming from a different country and they needed to have this house but this certain day, certain time.
You had their American dreams.
Yeah, bro.
Because that's part of American dream, bro, is having a house. Correct. And you had it in your hands.
Yeah,
and
man. So there's a lot of pressure, bro.
Crazy.
There's a lot of pressure. Like, I always think of that job as one of the most stressful jobs I've had just because it was kind of like that.
How long you did that for, though?
For 1 year. Because I had a 1 year contract.
Oh, so you 1099?
It was,
Yeah, okay.
It was 1 year contract. And I remember I did the same thing. Walked into my office managers. I was like, I'm done after the year. I don't want to do this. It's not good for my mental health. I was 24 years old. I was like, I should not be this stressed out at 24.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, something's off here. What are you going to do? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. So I started CrossFit at CrossFit Gaspar. Started to work out there. I was in a terrible shape in my life. Like, I was living with my roommates, Jonathan, Mauricio, myself, us three. All we did was play 2K, have fun, eat pizza.
Yeah, have fun, man.
And so my weight was crazy. We went on this hiking trip. Everyone knows this. If we went on this hiking trip to Tennessee. It was with Jonathan and a couple of our friends, bro. And I struggled so bad hiking, bro. I could barely make it. Like, it was terrible. Like, it was the worst. I'm an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
Think about this. My whole life I've been an athlete.
Yeah, so to get to that point, you're
To
like,
get to
what
that point, bro, where like I can barely hike, and you see kids just running by the freaking thing and just running, and I'm like, bro.
So that woke you up right there?
Boom. Came back. I'm like, I gotta do something. So I looked up. I went on Google. I was like, what is the hardest workout there is? CrossFit came out. I'm like, okay. Found it. Looked up in the nearest CrossFit gym. It was CrossFit Gaspar. I went to the first class. Destroyed me. But I didn't let anybody see how bad it hurt or anything.
Did you like it right away because it's competitive?
No, listen. It wasn't that I didn't like. So I threw up my first class, but I didn't throw up until I got to the bathroom of my house. I held it in because I didn't want no one to see how bad I was doing.
Yeah.
I got into the bathroom, opened the door, throwing up. And I was like, I love this shit.
Oh shit, that's what's up.
Like, I love this shit, man.
That was and again, that's the competitive side of you.
So I started working out, and then I met Devin and Sashi there. They were the owners of that, which are also the owners and the founders of the company that I work for now.
And what is the company?
It's called the Grow Group. So we used to see them all the time come in, and I'll see them with their thing, and I will always ask, hey, what do you guys do? And they would kind of explain to me here and there. So I told Devin, I was like, hey, man, I would like to maybe give it a shot. I feel like I can help people, you know? So he gave me an interview, went to the interview, got the job. I had no idea what I was doing at that time. I was just kind of learning on the go. So the Grow Group, what do we do, right? So the Grow Group is a nonprofit organization.
There you go, guys.
So they are a nonprofit organization, and what our focus is, we work with the state of Florida in a department called vocational rehabilitation. We help individuals with disabilities find employment and maintain employment. So my job title could be called different things: job coach, employment specialist, career coach. So what my job is, I get someone, they assign it to me as their coach, and I'm helping them with the whole process of how to find a job, but also how to maintain the job.
Now think about it. He said the hardest thing, I mean, and this is why I say it's dope. He's helping disabled people. When we were younger, you know, we looked at disabled people and we make fun of them or this and that and use the R word, which is horrible. I hate that word. Somebody uses it in front of me, I probably smack them and stuff. And now when you grow and you see those people's just like us, it's just they have a, you know, something little different, which sometimes is special, but they can still work like us. So that's dope. Yeah,
man. So it was a turning point in my life. I actually felt like I was helping people.
You felt whole.
And it's still the most rewarding job I've ever done. I still feel like it's amazing because I changed people's life, bro. Like,
now, is it corporate or is it 1099 or?
No, I'm at 1099.
Okay.
I started as an employee.
Okay.
My first year, because I had discussed with my boss. I'm like, hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can't commit to a 1099 job not knowing if I'm going to make anything.
You want to make sure it's you.
So I kind of like did this thing. I told him, hey, this is my salary as SunTrust. Can we maybe get close to it? And then maybe do some incentives on the side so you kind of complement. And if I'm good, I don't have no problem with having a smaller salary because I know I can do my thing and make up whatever I'm going to make up. Dude, that first year, I killed it. Like, blew up. Like,
and how you get these people? Like, do these people sign up to you? Again, now this is important. Do people sign up to you?
It's a free service.
Okay.
So it's a free service that because we are a vendor of the state.
Okay.
So if someone is out there that has a disability or has a family member or whatever,
very important. Please hear this.
They go to their local vocational rehabilitation offices, and they're everywhere in every single state. So you go in, you have a counselor, you sign up, you sit down with this counselor, and they discussed a job goal.